बोलिए उस्ताद हमारे।
Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. Amma ba'd. Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Rabbana zidna ilma. Rabbana zidna ilma. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani wa yafqahu qawli. Ameen. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair wa bika nasta'in. Respected Chairman, all the ustads here and ustadas and the students of Al-Qur'an Institute. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today we are going to be on lesson 9 of module 2, and that lesson deals with types of verbs. You know, this is a very small lesson to look at, but this is the foundation to understand the verbs in future. We are not dealing in detail with this. And this lesson today our aim is to learn about verbs which are Sahee and non-Sahee, their definitions and types and subtypes, and a few examples. It's simple, it's interesting, and I think you would remember with the tips given here in the lesson. To start with, the verbs are of two types, as-Sahee, ghairu-Sahee. As the word Sahee suggests, it is something correct, but the real information below shows you that a Sahee verb is made of all consonants, and the same letter is not appearing side by side in that word. And in Sahee verbs, there is an absence of huruf-e illat. There are no weak vowels in that, like fa'ala, zaraba, sami'a. All these are Sahee verbs because they are all consonants and the same letter is not appearing side by side, and there is an absence of huruf-e illat in those words. And also another quality of that is that it is when there is conjugation of words, there is a consistent pattern in that. Understanding irregular verbs, or what is referred to as non-Sahee verbs in Arabic, is crucial for mastering the language. Unlike Sahee verbs, which have a consistent pattern in their conjugation, non-Sahee verbs deviate from these regular patterns due to certain letters in their roots. So why should we understand irregular verbs? What's the fun here? Because, it seems 75 to 80% of words in Quran deal with Sahee words, but there are 15 to 20% of ghairu Sahee words. But still we need to know them because they occur very frequently. These and as I said, there are irregularities in the ghairu Sahee words. These irregularities can occur with weak defective letters like waw and ya, or with double letters, among other variations. Learning these verbs helps in comprehending classical texts where non-standard verb forms are prevalent. So the ghairu Sahee verbs or the deviant, they deviate from the regular pattern. They are different from the regular verbs because they contain certain letters in their root word, waw and ya. And secondly, some of them have the same letter. They may not have weak letters, waw or ya, but they have the same letter coming two times, like ma, si, sa and sa coming again. So those also make them ghairu sahih. Let us, is everybody okay with the definition here? Sahih and ghairu sahih? As-sahih, all consonants, same letter not appearing, absence of huruf illat, waw, ya, and hamza, and consistent pattern in conjugation. Example, fa'ala, daraba, samia. So that is sahih, which we have been dealing. Ghairu sahih, you find the presence of weak vowels like waw and ya, and also doubling of the letters. They may be consonants which get doubled, and that is what they may gives them an inconsistent pattern in conjugation, and they are called ghairu sahih. This table, this is a beautiful table. You know, if we get this imprinted in our mind, we can remember it for a long time. So you see the first line shows us the bifurcation of verb into two types, sahi and ghairu sahi. Sahiyun, ghairu sahi. Sahi is the regular and ghairu sahi are the irregular or non-sahi verbs. It tells you that Sahih has same letter not appearing side by side. It does not have waw or ya, and it has a consistent conjugation pattern. Examples are given here, Nasara, Zaraba, and their Mudari form, Yansuru, Yadribu. Whereas, let us go to Ghairu Sahih, they are further classified. They are divided into three major types. Mahmuzun, Mu'talun, Mudafun. This is not the Mudaf Mudafile. This is a different word. So we should not get confused here with Mudaf Mudafile. This has a different meaning and a slightly different form when you write that. So Ghairu Sahih is subdivided into three. Mahmudun, Mu'talun, Mudafun. Mahmudun is hamzated form. You have Hamza. Why is this Ghairu Sahih? Because it has Hamza in it. Example is Akala, Sa'ala. And their Mudario form we will discuss later on here. And second is Mu'talun. This is a bigger a bigger one. Here it is, you have all the huruf illat, defective letters, and mudafun is a double letter. So let us first say, can someone tell me how many main divisions are there in Ghairu Sahih? Please raise your hand, one of you can tell me, please.
They can say by looking at this as well, isn't it, Ustaza?
Yeah, they can see. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What are these three?
Three categories, and then
yes,
and
please.
mortal you have four subcategories.
Yeah. What are the three categories of Ghairu Sahih?
Mahmuzun,
Muhtal, Mudaf.
Mudaf.
Inshallah.
MashaAllah. Okay, once we get to know the three, then we go to the further subdivisions of Mu'tal. The other two don't have subdivisions. Remember, the central one, which has defective letters, has four subdivisions. And the first, The first one is mithalun, second is ajwafun, third is naqisun, and the fourth one is called lafifun. The first one, mithalun, has hurufe illat, the weak vowels, in the beginning of the word. Wa'ada. You see, vav, the weak letter forms the beginning of the word. Wada'a. Vav forms the beginning. And ya'idu being transformed to ya'idu, again you have ya in the beginning here. And yawda'u transformed to yada'u, you have ya as the beginning. Second, the ajwafun, which means a hollow middle. Hollow, there is hurufe illa, the weak vowels in the middle. Why? That is why we call it hollow, because there is a weak letter in the middle of the tri-letter word. Hawala. This is the initial word, and there is a weak letter waw in between. Baya'a, you have a weak letter ya in between. It later gets, transformed or converted by a process called tabdil into a different form, but actually it has a weak middle letter. And here also you see, yahulu, you have a weak waw in between. Yabi'u, again, you have a ya in between. Weak letters in the beginning, weak letters in the middle. Now we come to fail naqisun, in which you have the weak letter at the end of the word. The awa, waw forms the last letter. Hadaya, ya forms the last letter. Through a process of tabdil, it gets into that tabdil process we are going to learn in the subsequent lessons, not now. Here, today, we are more concerned about learning what they are, how many types they are, and how they represent themselves. Yada'uvu, see how complicated it is tabdil to yada'u. Yahdiyu becomes yahdi. So here you see the huruf illat or the weak vowel in the end, waw, ya. Even in mudari, you see waw and ya here. Coming to the fourth type in mu'talun, in the mu'tal form of verbs, it is called lafifun. Here, these two are, there are two weak verbs. The letter in the tri-letter verb, you find two weak letters at different positions. Wa'aya, waw, a weak letter, ya, a weak vowel. So there are two weak vowels here. Hawaya, you have waw and ya. Waqaya gets transformed to waqi, and this gets transformed to hawa. Yuqiyu becomes yaqi, yahwiyu becomes yahwi. What we notice here is that there are two weak letters, two weak vowels, two. The transformation is a long process. Come to the last type of ghairu sahih form. It is called mudafun. Here you see it. This is called ghairu sahih because there are two letters repeated in the word. That's why it is called a ghairu sahih verb. Here we don't have the weak letters, but still an letter is repeated. Marara, masisa. So you have a repetition of ra 2 times. And here you have a repetition of seen 2 times. And then it gets transformed to marra, and this masisa becomes massa. This is for the sake of convenience. We are not going to transform, we are not going to do that. Thousands of years ago, when the language originated, the grammarians had already set the pattern. We are only studying the pattern that was set by them. Yamruru becomes yamurru, yamsasu becomes yamassu. I want some volunteers to give me first the definition of Sahee and Ghairu Sahee verb.
So the Humera, feel free to pick someone. Sometimes our students are shy.
Okay, so Mr. Juma Khan, can you be a volunteer again?
Yes. Yes,
So-
I can. Okay.
What is a
Yes.
Sahee verb?
Sahee verb does not have weak letters wow and ya. It does not have an hamza, and it does not have repeated letters.
Very good.
Very good. And what is not Ghairu Sahee?
There is Sahee, it has the weak letters wow or ya, or it has got 2 letters side by side. Oh, 2 letters that repeat.
Mashallah, good.
And the other
And-
one, and the other one is Ghairu Sahih. Third type
It has
is
got an hamza. It contains hamza.
Mashallah. Good. Complete. Now your challenge is to learn these 4 types of mutal. Istada. It means their challenge. So please focus on that. They know mithal, azwab, nakis, lafib. How do they distinguish to identify? That's the main focus.
Okay. And also, I just want to give you a tip, like how to remember. Like we have long words, how we remember UNESCO, United Nations Educational and all, into an abbreviation. Similarly, all these modal words, we can make an acronym called MANAL, MANL. If you remember MANAL, then you remember modal. You remember the classification or the subtypes of modal. M stands for mithal, A stands for ajwaf, N stands for naqis, L stands for lafif. So if you remember the acronym MANAL, then you can remember all the types. And I want somebody else to let me know, because I do not see the names here on my screen. Please volunteer and tell me the types modal.
I'll go ahead, inshallah.
Yes,
So,
Hajira.
Assalamu alaikum, Ustadha.
Alaikum salam.
The mu'tal has 4 categories. So the first one is the mithal, the second one is ajwaf, the third one is naqis, and the fourth one is lafif.
How are the weak letters distributed in the 4 types?
The weak letters.
The weak vowels, the waw and ya, how
Yeah.
are they placed in the 4 forms?
So depending on their position, so they can, if we just
Yeah.
take the ala pattern, if the weak letters come on the fa kalima, like for example wa'ada, so we will call them the mithal.
MashaAllah. Yes.
So like for the ya also, it's wa'ada yada'u, right? So it resembles the weak letter, the ya. So it is categorized into a mithal. The next one is ajwaf. Ajwaf means hollow. So here, as we know, there are the weak letters, and ajwaf means the hollow. So they come from the jawf. So for example, the words, and they come on the ayn kalima, by the way, on the ayn kalima. And for example, the word is qawala. So the waw in the middle, it indicates that it's the ajwaf. And next example would be baya'a. So here on the ayn kalima, we have the letter ya, which is a weak letter, so we call it the ajwaf. Moving on to the third one, we have the naqis. Naqis means reduced. All right, so here the weak letter could be on the lam kalima. Example, da'awa. So the waw comes at the lam kalima. So since it's a weak letter, we will reduce it to da'a because it's hard for the pronunciation when we convert it into the mudari form. So da'awa would be yad'u. So it's hard for the tongue to pronounce. So to make it easier for the pronunciation, it has been reduced to yad'u. Yad'u. Okay, so that is the naqis. Now the last one is the lafif. Lafif means when we have the appearance of both the weak letters in the word, the waw and the ya. So for example, waqi'a. So when we have that, so we have on the fa kalima and the lam kalima, we have the weak letters. So for the ease of pronunciation, of course, it will be, I mean, what should he call? Folded on lafif, folded as a waqa. And also when it's transformed into the, or when we have the mudari format, it will be waqi'a. Ya, yawqiyu, is it? Is it yawqiyu?
Yes. Yawqiyu becomes transformed.
So it's hard for the pronunciation, hence it's written as yaqi. So,
On
Mashallah.
through her, let's get one thing out through the Hazira here. Lafif has got two varieties, two types. Did you notice? Alpha letter wawiya can be the, can you see, wakaya, hawaya.
It can also be on the ayn and the lam. Yeah.
Be
And the
far from each other, or it can be karib from each other. It could be next to each other, or it could be the first letter and the last letter. Waka ya, wa ya, far. So it's called lafife mafruq. Farak, far, wakaya. Ha wa ya, that is close to each other. It's called makrun. Lafife makrun.
Makrun.
Yes.
Makrun. So lafif now, if you explain two types, can you explain this, what you just heard, inshallah?
Okay, so the lafif, as we were discussing, when we see the appearance of two weak letters in the word, so it could be on the fa and the ayn kalima, or it can be the fa and the lam kalima, the first one, and the second one would be on the ayn or the lam kalima.
Kalima.
Okay, so when it comes on the fa and the lam kalima, it will be called lafifun mafruqun.
Yes.
Mafruqun.
When we have the second form, when the weak letters come on the ayn kalima and the lam kalima side by side, then we will refer them as lafifun makrunun, right?
Yes. Correct. MashaAllah, very good.
Yes. So let us go to the next lesson. We'll go as we have to follow the time. This thing. Very good. Very well said. You summed up the takeaway. You summed up, Brother Juma defined the Sahee and Ghairu Sahee words, and then you have gone with the classification. Very well said. Let's go to lesson 10. Lesson 10 deals with Asma'ul Mukabbira. They are called magnified nouns. And the 5 nouns in Arabic language are known as Asma'ul Khamsa. They are the special type of nouns because of 3 reasons. They became magnified. Magnified is always like expanding, making it bigger. So if you add something to the nouns, then they become magnified. Let us see how they get magnified. There are 3 things which make them magnified. These are the 3 characteristics by which they are called Asma'ul Khamsa. First is that their 3 grammatical status, Irab, which are Rafa, Nasab, and Jar, are different and expressed by letters or alphabets indicated by Waw instead of Dhamma, Alif instead of Fatha, and Ya instead of Kasra. Like instead of Fatha and all that, you get a letter. And that is why, because you're adding a letter, they are becoming bigger and they are called magnified. Asma'ul Khamsa. Second characteristic of this is that Asma'ul Khamsa act as sifa, adjectives to the previous noun. So here you see, this is Zata, Sayasla Naran Zata. So the word before Zata is Naran, and this is acting like a sifa to the previous word, and it is describing it. And the third characteristic is that Asma'ul Khamsa also act like zarf to the previous mudaf or to the previous noun, resulting in the mudaf ilay to the noun following it. We will discuss these examples further. I'm not going to confuse you here. First, let us see what they are. There are 5. What are the 5 nouns in Arabic language? They are abun, ahun, zu, famun, hamun. These are the 5 nouns which are called magnified nouns, but only 3 of these are found in Quran: abun, ahun, and zu. Abun is father, ahun is brother, zu is owner, possessor, or there is a slight variation, but the meaning comes out the same. Famun is mouth, Hamun is father-in-law. Let us look at some general examples. We can find examples from day-to-day usage and also from Quran. So let us first take the example from our regular this thing. It says, Kaifa abuka? How? There is a note. Let me read this. Nothing is added if the mudafile is ya mutakallim. There are exceptions to all rules. Here also there is an exception which says that nothing is added if the mudafile is ya mutakallim. So we will, when we go to examples, we will see how ya mutakallim, the rules do not apply. The rules, whatever we have read here, they are not going to apply if the mudafile is ya mutakallim. Kaifa abuka? Is somebody. Kaifa abuka? How is your father? And you see here, the word abun is here we have abu. You have the vav added here. It could have been just abu, but because it is a magnified noun, it is, and because it gets the dhamma because it is the subject. It is in marfu state here. Right. Because it is marfu, you have an addition of vav. That is how it has become magnified. And this is the idafa abuka, your father. And I know Bilal's father, Arifu Abba Bilalin. And here it has become, this abun has become Here it is Abu and here it is Aba. Can you tell me why it is Aba?
It's مفعول به.
Very good, mashallah. Because it is mafulan bihi, it should get a fatha, but because it is a magnified noun, there is an addition of an alif here. In addition to the fatha, there is an addition of alif because it is a mafulan bihi. Next example is Zahabtu ila Abi Bilalin. I went to Bilal's father. And here Abi is majroor. Do you know why it is majroor?
Yeah, harf jar before it.
Yeah, because it has jar before and it is getting a kasra here and then ya is added here. Abi. And next is, where did my father go? Aina zahaba abi. And why is it called marfu? It says it is in marfu status. Can somebody tell me why it is marfu? Where did my father go? So what is the role of father here? It is subject. Because it is the subject of the sentence, it is said to be in marfu state. Did you get it? Because father is the subject, it is said to be in marfu state, although you don't see the dhamma. And here, do you know my brother? Atarifu akhi. And here it is my brother. So here you see ya mutakallim. So as we said, nothing is added if mudafile is ya mutakallim. It is mudafile, my brother. So it should have been akhi, ya should have been added being a magnified noun and another ya for my, for the
Correct.
pronoun. But we have not added. So nothing is added here. Although it is a magnified noun, the rule does not apply because it is ya mutakallim. And get my address, and it is said to be in mansub state because it is mudaf mudafilin. Next example is get the address from my brother. Khudil unwana min akhi. Min is jar, and so it is majroor here. And again, it is ya mutakallim. There is no change. Nothing is added. Some examples are very important. So we have taken the words in green. They are very important and are found more frequently in Quran. So the default root is zawun, and the marfu form is zu, and then mansub is za, and majrur is zi, and it is singular. Zu, za, zi. For the dual form, it is, this is not important. We don't get whatever, but we should know because we are learning grammar. Zawa, zawai, zawai. And the plural form is ulu. We come across this ulul albab and many other places. So ulu, marfu form, and uli, you see, in plural for dual and plural, they are the same. Zawi, zawi, uli, uli. Let us go to feminine. And one more thing is that in feminine form, you don't find the addition. You just find the era. Zatun becomes zatu, zata, and zati. Nothing is added for the feminine form. And its dual is zawataini, zawatani. So its marfu is zawata, mansub is zawatai, and majroor is also zawatai. Plural, ulatun, ulatu, ulati, ulati again. Here also in the feminine form, you see the mansub and majroor forms for dual and plural are the same. Zawati, zawati, ulati, ulati. Let's go to the application of this in Qur'an, examples from Qur'an for zu here and zatu here. For zu and zati, we are going to see different examples. Al-habbu zul asfi wa rayhanu. And here, zu is in marfu state, rafa state, because it is a special mudaf. And also, you see, it is describing the word before it, the grain, al-habbu. How is the grain? So this is a description, and so it is describing the word before it. It acts like a sifa to the previous word. And also, it is mudaf and mudafile. Zul asfi. This is mudaf and this is mudafile. Did you get it? We had read in the, let me come here. Asma'ul Khamsa act as sifas to the previous noun. This is Asma'ul Khamsa and the previous word is Naran and it is describing, so it acts as sifa to the previous noun, agreeing with all the four qualities, G and Ti. This becomes sifa mausuf, but this also acts like mudaf and mudaf to this word. So the same thing we are seeing here in the examples. Zu is acting like a sifar to the previous noun, and then it is the mudaf to the following mudafile. Going to the next example, manzal lazi. Who is that can, manzal lazi yashfa'u indahu illa bi iznihi. Who is that? Who is it that can intercede with him except by his permission? So man, and then it is describing who, man. So it becomes sifa to man, then it becomes mudaf to allazi. This is mudaf mudafile. So you see, these words have a relationship with both the words before and after. It acts like sifa to the word before it and also mudaf to alladhi, what is following it. Wal Qur'ani Sa'd wal Qur'ani zikri, by the Qur'an containing reminder. So here, wal Qur'ani, because of waw, which is a swearing word, Al-Qur'an gets a kasra. And Z describes Qur'an, the preceding word, so it becomes a sifa for that and takes the same era, because sifa and mawsuf have to agree in all the four qualities. And again, it is mudaf and mudafile. You know, being sifa is an optional. It is not always the Asma'ul Khamsa acting as sifa is not a permanent thing. It may or may not be there, but the quality of being mudaf is always there. So sometimes you see it works as a sifa to the noun or word preceding it, but sometimes not. But here we see a good example of that. Now coming to the feminine examples of Asmaul Khamsa, you see Zatu, Zata, Zati. Look at the difference. Here, the marfu thing is represented by waw, the fatha is represented by alif, and the kasra is represented by ya. But that is absent in the feminine form. This we have to remember. Although they come under the same category of Asmaul Mukabbira, they have no additions. Fiha fakihatu wan nakhlu zatul akmam. Therein is fruit and palm trees having sheets of dates. So here, an-nakhlu. Zatu describes the word nakhlu, and Zatu becomes the sifa of an-nakhlu. And then it becomes the mudaf for al-akmam, and this is mudaf mudafile. Next example, Sa'esla naran zata lahab. He will burn in a fire of flame. So you see here, zata, it is describing nar. So because it is describing nar, it takes the same, this is mansub state and this is also mansub state, and it acts like sifa here, but then the fire of flame, and here it becomes mudaf mudafile. Then was-sama izat al-buruji, by the sky containing great stars. Was-samai, waw is again a swearing word, and as-samai gets a kasra because of waw, and zata is describing as-samai, so it takes a kasra because it has to match the era. And also you see, as-samai is feminine, and so we took the feminine asma'ul mukabbira. And nar is also feminine word, so the asma'ul mukabbira following it is feminine. We got to keep into mind that too. So zata is the sifat of as-samai, and then also it is mudaf mudafile. Here we read the table of zu, zazi, and we still have two more asmaul mukabbara that are very frequent, and that is abun and akhun. So that is given in a tabular form here. This is an example, this ayah. These two ayahs are going to come down to, but abun and akhun. So their form, when they are marfu, mansub, and majroor are given here. So if we take the word abun, a father, in nominative it is abun. We are going to the singular. In the singular it is abun, aban, abin. And in the dual form, their representation is abwani, abwaini, abawaini. You see again, dual form, you see the mansub and majroor are the same. And plural form, aba'u, aba'a, aba'i. Here there is a little difference. Aba'u, aba'a, aba'i. And coming to akhun, The singular form is akhun, akhan, akhin. In the marfu, mansub and majrur form. And in the dual, it is akhwani, akhwaini, akhwaini. Here, both the mansub and majrur form are the same. Coming to plural, it is ikhwanun or ikhwatun, depending on the usage. Then ikhwana or ikhwatun, ikhwanun or ikhwatin. Let's go to some examples. Wo abuna shaykhun kabir. Our father is a very old man. So here you see it is just mudaf mudafile. We don't see any word before, and so it is not acting as a sifa here. Our father, abuna. And here it takes abu. It is mudaf mudafile, and it is in the marfu form. And the marfu form has taken a waw. And his parents are his heirs. Warisahu abuwahu. Here it has the because it is mudaf, the abwana, because parents are dual. Remember, parents are taken in the dual form. The abwana, abawaini, yeah, and the noon is dropped here.
Yes.
Because it is mudaf mudafile.
Mudaf.
It is dropped because it is mudaf.
Yeah.
Because
Mudaf,
of the mudaf, noon is dropped.
I'll just to remind them, mudaf has got three characteristics. Mudaf doesn't like al. You remember? Mudaf doesn't like convene. And mudaf also doesn't like anything noon at the end, abuaini. That's when noon dropped. Mudaf. Okay? It is abuaini. Instead, aba wa, ni dropped, noon dropped.
Yeah. Warafa'a abawaihi alal arshi, and he raised his parents high above the throne. Again, here, warafa'a, that is fail file, and abawai is again object, so it is this is mafulan bihi, and here too noon is dropped because it is mudaf. Next example is waja'u abahum isha'an yabkuna. Then they came to the father in the evening weeping. So here aba, waja'u, aba forms the object here.
Yeah, Ustaza, since we are on this, warafa'a abuaihi, ni noon drop.
Yeah, noon drop again. Yes.
Yeah.
So
they got it very clear, inshallah.
Yeah. Noon dropped again.
Good.
Yeah. And here, Abba becomes object. Waja'u, and this becomes object. That's why it is in the nasab form. Is Khala Yusufu li abihi, when Yusuf said to his father. Here, because of li, it takes the jar form. And it is in the majrur form again, mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Next example, Vaskur Akha, mention one of Ad's own brethren. It's something is missing here, I think.
Yes, Adin.
Adin, yeah, I know. Vaskur Akha Adin. It's a misprint here. It should be an alif. and din. Okay.
Yeah, you know, for everybody's information, every time we correct it, it comes back to this. This is the problem with dealing with some Arabic. Sometime it happens, it has been corrected many times, it just comes back to this. Sorry, can't do anything. It's adin, okay? Adin, as Sada said,
Right.
it's ain with fatha,
Mm.
then alif and din.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay, carry on.
So this is mudaf. That is why it has a fatha. How to hide the shame of his brother, and the ayah is kaifa yuwari sawata akhi. How to hide the shame, and our ustad had said that the translation here is not very appropriate. It should have been in the passive form. Yuwari is a passive form. So how the shame could be hidden, how the shame of his brother could be hidden, maybe somewhat closer to the translation. So here also it is mudaf, mudaf ilayhi, and it is akhi, yeah, it's the mudaf here.
Mhm.
Now this is mudaf and this is mudaf ilayhi. Again, this is mudaf and this is mudaf ilayhi. Sawata akhi is mudaf, mudaf ilayhi. Then akhi and he is mudaf, mudaf ilayhi. There are two combinations here. Then the next example is again, is qala lahum akhuhum. There is some superimposition of typing. It is qala lahum akhuhum. Akhuhum, it is subject.
Mhm.
That is why it is in the marfu form. When their brother said to them. So who is the subject? The brother, their brother. So that's why it is a subject and it is in the marfu form, and it is followed by waw being asmaul mukabbira. And he stretches his hands towards water so that water can reach his mouth. Ilal ma'u liyablugha fahu. And this is mafulan bihi. And also in the previous example, noon is dropped. Here, it is subject marfu, but noon is dropped here too. Their brother said to them, it's is it dropped, Ustad?
Which sentence are you looking at? The last one.
Is qala lahum akhuhum.
Huh?
I think because it's plural, there is a noon that is dropped here, I think.
Akhuhum, it's singular, I think, when their brother said to them. So it's just singular, masculine, and in Rafa form because it is the subject.
Mhm.
There is no akhuhum, obviously mudaf ilayhi. Wow is playing the role of the irab there because it's Rafa, marfu.
Yeah.
Okay, it's simple. It's simple.
Yeah. And here it is ilal ma'ul yablugha fahu. This here it becomes mafulan bihi, and that is why it is nasab.
Fail file. It is fail
Yeah.
file. Fa is maful. That's why it's mansub. And mansub irab is being presented here in the form of alif. Fa.
Fa.
Like
Instead of just the fatha, we have an addition of alif to show that it is asmaul mukabbira.
akhuhum. Wow. Yeah, I'll just quickly go through. MashaAllah, you've done very well, Ustadha. It's not simple subject, MashaAllah. Akhu, so Sadiq, you will probably take over now.
Yeah.
I'm just doing this bit. Akhuhum, this wow is the Irab.
Yes.
As you know, Rafa is represented not by Dhamma in the presence of this Asmaul Khamsa, This waw is the i'rab. When akhihi, can you see akhihi, the next one? This here is the i'rab. Sawatan akhihi, sawatan mudaf. This is mudaf ilayhi. Okay, akhihi, this akhi, this is its sign of i'rab. Then li abihi, same. This here is the i'rab. Because abi is asma'ul khamsa, and when it is, representing its i'rab will be indicated by waw or ya or alif. Okay, so this simple thing you remember, if you go through again and again this chapter, please revise it yourself multiple times, listen to the video as well. Inshallah, it will be clear, mashallah.
Ustad,
Yes.
in the example, mention one of Ad's brother, right? Brethren. So wadhkur akha Adin. So wadhkur is a command, right?
Command,
so remember
file, yeah.
Remember who? So akha is a maf'ul bihi of
Maf'ul bihi. Maf'ul bihi, simple object.
So yeah, in the explanation it was being said akha is a sifa.
Huh? Sorry?
No.
Not a sifa, right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No.
I said mafulan bihi, and also it is mudaf.
Also it is mudaf, correct. Yeah, that's the correct. Okay.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
There could be slip of tongue from anybody. It's okay. Yes. Alhamdulillah. Good question. Now, these things, what she explained, you need to just go through this again and again, inshallah. But this lesson is very comprehensive. Alhamdulillah, everything is there. You need to just go through a few times. It takes 6 months to 1 year time for this to be fully digested and absorbed in the brain. But some of you will be doing it much quicker, maybe after this class. But others, repeat that. It is so important subject. Zu, za, zi, and all this use so much. One of the name, this is magnified noun, Asma'ul Mukabbira, means big. It is big mentioned because it's so small. Asma'ul Khamsa are so small, but their role within a sentence, the meaning within a sentence, the significance, the properties are big. Now it's time, Ustad Sadiq, you come with me. It's a time for you now. Ustad Humaira, have you finished? Alhamdulillah, I believe.
Yes, I am finished.
Okay. Ustad, now you make sure these three properties of Islam, why they're special, because of three properties, three characteristics. Make sure they know it by heart now. If you could take the practice now, Ustad.
Yes. So the three rules that Ustad mentioned at the beginning, these are as part of the takeaway, these are the things you need to leave with this lesson. So Ustada, if you can just go to the top to help the students. And I want everyone, if you haven't made a note, you need to be very familiar with these. As Ustada said at the beginning, the three reasons why these are special, the Asma al-Khamsa, as you heard, the grammatical rules regarding the Arab, and how they change to the vowel change to alif, waw, and ya. So that's the first one. I'm just summarizing because of time. Secondly is the Asma al-Khamsa act as sifa to the previous noun. Again, you saw that through the examples, mashallah. That's the second reason. And finally, the Asma al-Khamsa act as dharf, special mudaf. And we've also learned that the effect of the mudaf ilayhi relationship. And again, mashallah, you saw the examples of that. Now, I want everyone, if you can just quickly put your thumbs up to confirm that you've understood that. I'm going to just, if I don't see a thumb up, I'm going to, I'll call you out. So I see
I have
Sanika.
a question, Ustad.
No.
So on the third point, the mudaf one, it says that they are a special mudaf
Hmm.
for the noun that is after it.
Yeah, I want to talk about it. Carry on.
Okay. But I feel like there is actually
I think I know what you will be saying.
okay.
Go ahead.
Do you want okay. So my question, the special mudaf, as I understand, is where there is no possession.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
the examples that I see here do show
possession.
possession.
Yes. I was going to say this, I was going to correct it because Sister Shammi asked this question. I said yes. And I was waiting for this moment to just say, I am going to change this lesson because, these things, alhamdulillah, which we have been covering, many of these things are not in any book and are not even mentioned in most of the courses. But we learn from our experience, alhamdulillah, just listening to you. I said, no, it is actually proper mudaf. It's not special mudaf because special mudafs are those zarf, which is like kullu shayin, kullu. Those things where there's no position, they are special mudaf. But when there's a position, this is not special mudaf. I was going to cover this point, but you just raised it. It's absolutely right. This is not special mudaf. Asmaul Khamsa, proper mudaf. Asmaul Khamsa, proper mudaf. And there is no exception to these properties of Asmaul Khamsa, but the middle one, it will be a sifat of a previous noun. This may be there, Ustad Humaira clearly mentioned. It may be there or it may not be there. But mudaf ilayhi element, these properties will always be there for Asmaul Khamsa. I hope everybody got this, Ustad.
Jazakallah khair for the clarification. The other takeaway is to memorize the Asma al-Khamsa. While, not all are in the Quran, you have to memorize these. It's not many. So, that's something you have to go away with. So please do that as well, inshallah. Can I just get confirmation from everyone? You can just unmute and just say, if you haven't. If you have, then of course that's fine. If you haven't, that we just need commitment that you'll be memorizing these, inshallah. It's easy. It's not many. Abun, akhun, famun, which is the mouth. So just memorize these, and yeah, that's the final takeaway for this lesson. If I can quickly go to lesson 9 and just reiterate, the heading is the key thing that you need to memorize. So as Ustada went through the Sahee and the Ghayru Sahee, and mashallah, we've got an acronym to memorize as well. So, for the Ghayru Sahee, the Mahmuz and the 4 of the Mu'tal as well as Muda'af, just memorize that. We will go into this deeper, as Ustada said. So by doing this exercise now, memorizing these, it will make it easier, inshallah. So this is introductions, as Ustad said at the beginning. We will have lessons where we go into each one in much more depth. So by memorizing this now, it'll make it easier. And don't worry about the tabdeel, because we'll go through this later, inshallah. Sure. Yeah, over to you, Dr. Mahmoud.
Okay, Sister Humaira, this is fine. Let's go back to Asmaul Khamsa, please. So, how much time? We have got 17 minutes, right? And
yeah.
We got Maghrib. What time? So Maghrib, your Maghrib?
We should be able to conclude, to be honest. It comes in at 29, but we can do Maghrib after the class, inshallah.
Sure. Brothers and sisters, although he said, promise that you'll be doing it, but we cannot trust you because you'll be busy and you may not have time. So while I'm discussing, can I ask you property 1, just 1, and type it on the chat box, what the rules tells about. Number 2, what does it say about? Number 3, what does it say about? This is very simple. You must learn this first of all. So keep typing on the chat box. 3 special property. Why they're special? Because of the 3 properties, 3 reasons. 1, 2, 3. 1, this is in your language, just say it. So Ustad Humaira, please go forward on the page. That's fine. Go to the, here, there's a Zuzazi, please. Zuzazi. Yes, okay. You have to memorize these 4 letters. And by now, I'm sure you know that the masculine version of Asmaul Khamsa, the default root, you don't have to remember, but we'll have to remember that the Rafa form is Zu, the, 3 status, okay? And Ulu, you have to remember, you have to memorize these 4. And Zatu, Zata, Zati, next one, feminine. They used a lot, okay? Next chart, Ustada. Next chart. Okay? Everything else, forget, no problem, inshallah. And can you see the next? I'm just quickly pointing to the areas where you need to really focus to spend some time on. You know, the self-study is the best way of learning. Repetition is the best way of learning. Okay? Ustaza has explained it very, very well. It can't be done any better. Ustaza can't repeat it. But you have to repeat it. You have to revise it. You will write it. You will say loudly some of these. And then these sections, example from Quran, Ustaza. Example from Quran. She has explained that Zu is there. Before that, there may be a Mawsuf, where Zu could be Sifat. It may be there. It may not be there. And you can see Wal-habbu Zu. Wal-habbu Zu. This is Mawsuf Sifa describing. But in some places, you may not have it. But Zu and Al-Asfi, Mudaf ilayhi, this is obvious. This is absolutely common. Look at all the examples. They are all self-explanatory. If you just repeat it yourself, inshallah, you will understand. And if needed, watch the YouTube video. Should be okay. Next. Next full section. This Abun and Akhun, it's singular form, dual form, plural form. Go through this. Again, they are not difficult. You can say Abun, Aban, Abin. But you need to know. That is Abun, Aban, Abin. Then look at dual. It's related to Muslim chart. Abawani, Abawaini. Nominative marfu form Abwani, you know that. Abwaini, marfu form. Abwaini, mansub form, and Abwaini also majrur form. Can you see? It's all simple. You know that, but make sure you go through this once more. And then Akha, Akhin, Akhun, Akhan, Akhin, etc. Then all these are simple. And finally, spend some time repeatedly with these examples, Ustada. Examples from the Quran. Okay, that's fine. Anything not clear, ask yourself. And you may need to go back to that Abun, Akhun section and look at the breakdown of singular form in Rafa, Nasab, and Majrur, how it changes, dual form, how it changes. And if it is Mudaf ilayhi, remember Noun will drop. You will find the answer here. Okay? And very first page, Dada. If we go to very first page, the bottom section. This Asmaul Khamsa.
This one?
Yeah, go up. And up means, sorry, down, go down, stay here. A little bit up, that's it, okay? Now here, again, I'm repeating. Ustad already explained it very clearly. Kaifa abuka. Abuka, your father, is the subject here, also marfu. So abun has become Abu here, and it is important that waw comes here so that it plays the role of a marfu. Marfu can be only identified with the presence of waw. Sabun has lost one tanwin, that's normal. Okay, it's a mudaf's property anyway, that cannot be abun, abu. But if just abuka there without waw, then how do you know it's rafa? So this waw is actually irab. I'm just repeating what she said. Then a'rifu, I know Abba. Okay, Abba. Now, Abba and Bilalin, there's a relationship between these two. Mudaf, mudaf ilayhi. Since this is mudaf, that's why Aban gone to Abba. What is this alif? Alif is the irab, because it's a mansub, maful bihi role. Irab, I'm talking about irab, okay? Waw there and alif here. Okay, fine. Dhahabtu ila abi Bilalin. Now here, ila and then abi, it is supposed to be another year there. I went to Bilal's father. So there should be two iya there, one representing irab, one representing mutakallim, my, but one is missing. Which one is missing? When it is mudaf mudaf ilayhi, then iya mutakallim, nothing is added. Can you see that this exception? This is an example. Aina zahaba abi, same. Where did my father go? Okay, same. Then atarifu akhi. It is supposed to be two ya. One is the irabia, one is the my mutakallim. It has pronoun, for example. Can you see it's not two there? So that's what it means, this rule. Nothing in as if the mudaf ilayhi is ya mutakallim. The irabia will not be added. Two ya cannot be there. So the last one, min akhi, same. Is that okay, brothers and sisters? It's quite high, but the way Ustad explained, mashallah, and we repeated, Brother Sadiq also summarized, including the properties Wasmal Khamsa. I told Brother Sadiq yesterday that this is one of my most favorite chapter. When you love something, you will get it in. When you feel, oh, I don't know the answer. No, this is a sweet chapter, one of the sweetest chapter. And this little word, zazu, zi, and all this coming here, there, that, and making a significant contribution in the sentence. One more thing, mudaf mudaf ilayhi, zazu, these things, remember that means owner. If we look at the, I think next page, Ustada. Yeah, next page, okay, up. Sorry, down. No, other way. Yeah. Stay here 1 second. Yeah. Okay. This is the last bit. Okay. Take it seriously and pay attention. Nahlu, it is important that you know Zatu means owner, possession. Okay, Zatu, you see, وَالنَّحْلُ ذَاتُ الْأَكْمَامِ. Akmami means sheets, like branches. Okay, An-Nakhlu is palm tree, which contains sheets of dates. So can you see some kind of ownership? The contains means owning. I'm just trying to reimpose this meaning in your mind. Zul Asfi, owner of Asfi. Asfi means husks, okay? In Bangla, it's called bushi. I don't know what you call it. But manza allazi yashfa'u. Who is there? Who is the owner of the power who can do shifa on the day. So some kind of ownership sense is there with these Asmaul Khamsa. That's what I just wanted to tell you. Zikri, Zid Zikri, wal Qur'ani Zid Zikri. Quran, its quality is Zid Zikri. It contains, it includes the reminder, full of reminder, in other words. It owns, it possesses a lot of reminder. So that kind of sense, okay? So this ownership sense to feel like that is important. And the last page.
Ustad, just one
yeah.
thing.
Yes.
The example which you just explained, can you just scroll up? I mean, the examples.
Yes.
Yeah, this one. No. Yeah, this one. Yes. So यहाँ पर man ذا الذي, it's singular, right?
Singular.
Is it because of الذي is being singular?
Yes.
And the above example والحب, it's ذو.
الذي is supposed to be mudaf ilayhi. Mudaf ilayhi, number and gender has to be same, and it is matching. Yes. Okay. Next.
والحب ذو. So here is ذو, right?
Singular.
And the grains. Why is it ذو, Ustad, here?
It's Rafa. Can you see? Al-habbu. Rafa.
Yeah, there's no reason. There's no reason that for it to be that or the. The default is zu.
Matching.
Mawsuf sifa.
Matching. Al-habbu zu. And Ustad said there is no reason for this to be anything different.
Okay, Ustad. Okay.
Yeah. Inshallah, very good question. Sayasla naran zata lahab. Sayasla, they will enter. They will burn. Naran, in a fire. What kind of fire? Description, sifat, zata. Naran, zata, matching. Okay? And zata is now mudaf. Lahabin is mudaf ilayhi. Alas.
Yes. Got it.
And in most of you are Urdu speaking here. I don't know what is flame in Urdu. What is in Urdu flame? Aag wala,
Aag ka shola.
What is flame?
Yeah.
Shola.
Yeah, shola.
Shola wala aag. Abhi samajh jao. Shola wala. Can you see owner? Wala is a very appropriate word for Asmaul Khamsa. Wala. Good wala. Yaul wala. That wala is owner. It's a lovely word.
That does help, yes.
Yes. Okay.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Ustad, within time, everything is covered. I think the lesson went very well. Anything else, Ustad Humera, Ustad Sadiq, is if you want to, mashallah, within time, mashallah.
Yeah, I just want to ask, from our students and some obviously our other teachers, what you found most useful in these two lessons. Is useful for us to understand that. What was the highlight for you? Just want to hear from you.
To me, on the second chapter, the deep meanings of the 5 modified nouns.
Magnified.
Yeah, the deep meanings that you get out of the translation.
Yes, very good.
Alhamdulillah. Anyone else? Okay, let me share something. If you have, again, reminder for us, myself first and foremost, if you learned something new today, or really appreciated something, I think it's an opportunity for us to give shukr to Allah. We should say Alhamdulillah, because by showing gratitude to Allah, because Allah is our teacher ultimately, inshallah, He will increase our knowledge. So let's say Alhamdulillah for what Allah has taught us. Ustad Humara, Dr. Mahmoud, if there anything else we can ask Ustad Humara?
Just wanted to find out, Brother Ali Enga Erketa, first time I'm seeing your name. Have you just recently joined, Brother Ali? Brother Ali? Can you speak, or has he just dropped? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I will find out. Okay. Even there are some names on even module 1 group. They have not registered through Google Form. They have not registered through website. They have not purchased any material, but they're coming and going number of people. Difficult for us. Stop the recording anyway. But we carry on talking few minutes. All recording stopped, yes?